In the hardest-to-reach parts of the world, hide animals that people already gave up for dead, or that scientists say never even existed. In this video, I'll show you 15 animals that may have never really gone away. Stay until number 1, because in 2024, explorers came face to face with an animal we thought died out 70 million years ago, and it shows the line between gone and hidden is a lot thinner than we'd like to believe. Number 15, dodo. Most people think they know the year the dodo died out. They don't. The last clear sighting that someone wrote down in detail was in 1662, but that one date hides a messier story. For years after that, sailors kept saying they saw birds that looked like dodos on Mauritius. Mauritius is the island east of Madagascar where the dodo lived. One of these later reports may have come as late as 1688. So when did the last dodo really die? Two scientists, Roberts and Solo, took all the old sightings and ran them through a math tool called a statistical model. This kind of math uses scattered, messy reports to guess the real end date. Their answer was 1693. That's more than 30 years after the official goodbye date. This matters because back then, the middle of Mauritius was full of thick, tangled forest, and almost no one ever went there. The dodo also bred slowly and laid just one egg at a time. So a few dodos could have stayed hidden in those deep woods long after people stopped looking for them. None of this means a dodo is alive today. It isn't. But it does mean the dodo's extinction date was always just a guess. And in another way, the bird won't fully go away. In early 2025, scientists shared a complete high-quality dodo genome. A genome is the full set of instructions written in an animal's DNA. So the dodo left the world later, and in a stranger way than the textbooks say. Number 14, Caribbean monk seal. Picture a warm, sandy beach in the Caribbean. A round, gentle seal lies in the sun. People walk toward it, but the seal isn't scared at all. That trust is what got the Caribbean monk seal killed. People found it easy to hunt. In 1952, someone saw one for the last time that we know for sure. It was at Serenilla Bank, a faraway reef in the ocean between Jamaica and the Yucatan in Mexico. Here's the strange part. The United States did not call the seal extinct, meaning all gone, until 2008. That's 56 years later. Why did it take so long? Because people kept saying they saw the seals. Fishermen and divers in places like Haiti and Jamaica kept telling stories about seals in quiet, empty parts of the sea. Scientists looked into it, but most of the time, the animal people saw was a different kind of seal, the hooded seal. Hooded seals live in the cold Arctic up north. Sometimes they swim way too far south and end up far from home. From 1996 to 2008, scientists confirmed more than 20 of these lost Arctic seals in warm, tropical water. That probably explains why people kept thinking they saw monk seals. Still, scientists say there's a small chance. Monk seals could live 20 to 30 years, so a few grown seals might have stayed alive, hidden and quiet, into the 1960s or even the 1970s, long after that last sighting in 1952. The Caribbean monk seal is almost surely gone for good, but for 50 years, the Caribbean kept whispering that maybe, just maybe it wasn't. Number 13, quagga. Right now, on wild animal parks in South Africa, some animals are out in the open eating grass. They look almost exactly like an animal that died out back in 1883. People call them rao quaggas, and they are the strangest comeback on this whole list. The first quaggas were a kind of zebra. They had stripes only on the front half of their body, and the back half was plain brown. They lived in South Africa. The very last one died in a zoo in Amsterdam in 1883. For a long time, that looked like the end. The quagga was gone for good, but a nature scientist named Reinhold Rau spotted something important. The quagga wasn't its own separate kind of animal after all. It was really just one type of the plains zebra, and that zebra is still alive today. So Rau had an idea. If the quagga was just a kind of plains zebra, then the quagga's faded stripe look might still be hidden inside normal zebras. It could be tucked away in their DNA, the instructions inside every animal that decide how it looks. Maybe that look could be brought back out. So starting in the 1980s, a team called the Quagga Project went to work. They picked out zebras that had the fewest stripes. Then they let those zebras have babies together. They did this again and again, year after year, with each new group of babies. Today, there are about 160 animals in the program. A few of them, around 6, now have that special light-striped look so clearly that they are hard to tell apart from a real quagga. But here's the catch. These animals are not exact copies of the lost quagga. Their DNA is not the same. They only look like it on the outside. So is the quagga really back? Or is this just a really good copy? Walk past one and you'd swear you just saw a ghost. Number 12. Japanese wolf. In 1905, a team of explorers from Britain came to a village called Higashiyoshino in central Japan. There, they bought the body of a small, dead wolf. No one knew it then, but that wolf was special. It was the last Japanese wolf anyone would ever prove was real. The Japanese wolf was very small for a wolf. It was only about the size of a border collie, which is a medium-sized dog. Long ago, it lived in the forests on the Japanese islands of Honshu, Shikoku, and Kyushu, but disease spread among the wolves. At the same time, the government tried to kill them all off. By the early 1900s, the Japanese wolf was gone. So why talk about it here? Because people kept saying they saw it. For more than 100 years, hikers in Honshu's mountains have reported seeing animals that look and sound just like the lost wolf. But experts have never proven that even one of these sightings was real. Most of the animals people saw were probably just stray dogs, or maybe people only saw what they hoped to see. Still, there's a reason people can't give up on this wolf. In 2021, scientists tested the DNA from 9 of these wolves kept in museums. They learned something amazing. Out of all wild animals, the Japanese wolf is the closest relative to every pet dog on Earth. That makes it very important to science. It also makes it really hard to say goodbye to. So if even a few of these wolves were still alive in the deep forests, it would be one of the greatest animal comebacks ever. Most likely, the wolf is truly gone. But every blurry mountain photo makes people wonder again. That's because Japan has never stopped hoping its lost wolf is still out there. Number 11. Eastern cougar. On June 11, 2011, a car on a Connecticut road hit and killed a mountain lion. The big cat weighed 140 pounds. This should have been impossible. No wild cougar had been seen for sure in Connecticut in over 100 years. So where did it come from? A DNA test gave a shocking answer. DNA is the code inside an animal's body that shows where it came from. This one male cougar had walked all the way from the Black Hills of South Dakota. Along the way, it left clues behind: droppings, hair, and photos snapped by cameras in the woods. Those clues showed up in Minnesota, Wisconsin, and New York. In a straight line, that trip is about 1,500 miles. But the cat didn't walk in a straight line. It had to follow the land, going around hills, rivers, and towns. So scientists think it really walked closer to 1,700 miles, and it did this over 2 years. It is the longest trip ever recorded for any cougar. The whole time it was searching for a mate, it never found one. Now here's the part that surprises people. For a long time, scientists treated the eastern cougar as its own special kind of cougar. But it may not have been special at all. It may have been the same as the cougars out west the whole time. In 2018, U.S. officials said the eastern cougar was extinct, and they took it off the list of animals that need protecting. Around that time, some scientists who sort animals into groups said something surprising. Maybe the eastern cougar was never really a separate kind in the first place. So the eastern cougar isn't coming back exactly, but something even better is happening. Real cougars, the western kind, are walking east all on their own. They are taking back land that cougars lost 100 years ago. The cats showing up in eastern forests are not ghosts of a lost animal. They are explorers moving into new land. Number 10. Ivory-billed woodpecker. Here's something strange. The U.S. government tried to say this bird was gone forever, and then couldn't. The ivory-billed woodpecker was the biggest woodpecker in North America. It was black and white, and it lived in the swampy forests of the South. The last time most people agreed they saw one was way back in 1944. In 2021, a U.S. wildlife agency wanted to make it official. The bird would be called extinct, which means all of them had died and none were left. They planned to take it off the list of animals to protect, but they ran into a problem. In 2023, a group of scientists led by Stephen Latta shared a new study. Before it came out, other scientists checked their work to make sure it was solid. The study showed 10 years of clues from a forest in Louisiana. There were photos from cameras left in the woods, video from a flying drone, sound recordings, and people who said they saw the bird with their own eyes. The clues hinted that maybe more than one was still alive, but the clues were fuzzy, and scientists argued hard about them. Nobody had the one clear photo that would prove it for sure. Still, it was enough to make the government stop and think. Later, in 2023, officials called 21 other animals extinct all at once, but they left the ivory bill off the list. They said they needed more time to look at the new clues, so the bird is stuck in the middle. It's not proven alive, it's not proven gone. Somewhere in a Louisiana forest, a question mark the size of a crow keeps America's most famous extinct woodpecker from being buried for good. Number 9. Haast's eagle. Long ago, the skies over New Zealand held a killer as big as a small child, with wings. Haast's eagle was the largest eagle that ever lived. It weighed up to 30 pounds, and its claws were strong enough to break bone. Its favorite meal was the moa, a giant bird that couldn't fly. The eagle would dive down from the sky and hit it like a falling spear. The Maori, the native people of New Zealand, told stories about a huge bird called the puakai. They said it could grab and kill people. Many scientists think this story is a real memory of Haast's eagle, so could one still be flying out there? Let's be honest first. When people came to New Zealand, they hunted every moa until there were none left, around the year 1400. A bird as big as Haast's eagle needed big animals to eat. Once its food was gone, the eagle almost surely starved soon after. Still, there's one tempting clue. In the 1870s, an explorer named Charles Douglas said he shot 2 giant hunting birds in a faraway valley. But that was long ago, and no one can prove it now. New Zealand still has wild land where almost no one walks, and the country has surprised the world before. In 1948, people found the takahe, a bird everyone thought was extinct, alive and well. But a giant eagle is a tougher case. Without the moa to hunt, the puakai had nothing left to eat, so the legend probably lived on longer than the real bird did. Number 8. Steller's sea cow. 27 years. That's all it took for people to wipe out one of the biggest animals of modern times. Steller's sea cow was a giant relative of the manatee. It grew up to 30 feet long and could weigh as much as 10 tons. It ate kelp, a kind of seaweed, in the cold Bering Sea between Russia and Alaska. A scientist named Georg Steller first wrote about it in 1741. By 1768, only about one lifetime later, hungry sailors had hunted the slow, trusting animal until it was gone. Or was it? In July 1962, the crew of a Soviet whaling ship called the Buran saw something amazing near Russia's far eastern coast. About 6 huge, dark animals were feeding in a shallow bay. The water was full of the sea cabbage that sea cows love to eat. The crew said the animals were slow, 20 feet long or more, with small heads and split tails. The report reached Soviet scientists, who took it seriously enough to write it down and share it. Another report like it came in 1976. So is a group of sea cows hiding up there? Almost surely not. Most scientists think the people saw narwhals instead. Narwhals are Arctic whales, and in rough water they can look like something much stranger. Still, the sea off Russia's far east is cold, huge, and barely explored even today. In the parts of the ocean almost no one watches. An animal the size of a bus is hard to completely rule out. Number 7. Javan tiger. A single hare, caught on a fence in Indonesia in 2019, started a science fight that still isn't over. The Javan tiger once lived on the island of Java in Indonesia, but farming took over its home, and hunters killed it off. The last clear sign of one was back in the 1970s, so officially, it's extinct. Then, in 2024, scientists in Indonesia shared a study. They said the hair from the fence came from a living Javan tiger. Its DNA matched old tigers kept in museums. The news hit like a thunderclap. Indonesia's government started a real search. They set up cameras in the woods and sent out teams to collect DNA, hoping to find proof. But other DNA experts pushed back, and here's where it gets tricky. They said the signal in the hair might not be true tiger DNA at all. Instead, it might be old, broken copies of DNA that hide inside a cell and can trick a test. In 2025, another team looked again and had even more doubts. So the tiger's fate now rests on an argument in a lab, not a clear photo. No camera has caught a living Javan tiger. No body has been found. All anyone has is one hair that people can't agree on, a government out searching, and scientists still arguing in print. For now, the word extinct wears a question mark in the hills of Java. Number 6. Moa. In January 1993, 3 hikers in New Zealand said they saw a bird that had been dead for hundreds of years. One of them was Paddy Freeney. He ran a hotel, and he used to be a soldier in a tough British special unit. He wasn't the kind of person people expected to make up a story. The hikers said the bird stood about 6 feet tall, with a long neck and a small head. Freeney took a quick, blurry photo before it ran off. The bird they said they saw was a moa, a giant bird that couldn't fly. Moas once ruled New Zealand. Here's the problem. Scientists are sure the moa died out around the year 1400. People hunted them all within a couple hundred years of arriving. Most experts said Freeney's photo was just a deer or a trick of the eyes from far away, and the footprints washed away before anyone could study them. So was it real? Almost surely not. But the chance isn't quite zero either. There's no solid proof of a moa after about the year 1550. Still, the South Island has huge stretches of wild land with no roads, where almost no one goes. If any animal could slip through unseen, a few moa hiding deep in that wild land is the kind of long shot people just can't shake. The bird is gone, but somehow the doubt keeps walking. Number 5. Gigantopithecus. Everything we know about the biggest ape that ever lived fits inside a few museum drawers. Gigantopithecus was a giant. Scientists think it stood about 10 feet tall and weighed up to 550 pounds. But here's the strange part. No one has ever found a full skeleton. Not one. After almost 100 years of digging in southern China, scientists have only about 2,000 teeth and 4 lower jaw bones. They have nothing from the neck down. That means almost everything you might picture about it is a smart guess based on teeth. How did it stand? Did it walk upright? What did its face look like? No one really knows. The very first clue was a tooth sold in a Chinese drugstore in the 1930s. People there called it a dragon's tooth. Because we have so few bones, and because this giant ape lived at the same time as early humans, people have long wondered something. Could a creature that big still be hiding in some jungle in Southeast Asia that no one has mapped? That idea helped build the stories of Bigfoot and the Yeti. So should you pack a camera? No. In 2024, a study showed the ape died out a very long time ago, somewhere between about 295,000 and 215,000 years back. That's way, way before our time. The giant ape is truly gone. What's left is the mystery of its missing body. And that empty space, where the rest of the bones should be, is exactly what keeps people's imaginations reaching up into the trees. Number 4. Giant ground sloth. Deep in the Amazon rainforest, hunters tell of a tall, smelly beast that walks on 2 legs and leaves a trail of flattened trees behind it. They call it the mapinguari. To most people from the outside, that's just a scary campfire story. But one scientist took it seriously. David Oren was an expert on birds. Born in America and living in Brazil, he spent years in the rainforest, collecting more than 100 stories from people who said they'd seen the beast. He even talked to 7 hunters who swore they had shot one. Oren had a bold idea about what they were describing. He thought it might be a giant ground sloth, a shaggy plant-eating animal with big claws, about the size of a car. The idea fit in a creepy way. Ground sloths walked on the sides of their feet. That would leave tracks pointing backward, just like the legend says. And here's the part that gives the story some weight. Giant ground sloths were absolutely real. They died out only about 10,000 years ago, which is like yesterday in the long story of Earth. So is one still out there? Honestly, probably not. Every real clue Oren found fell apart when it was tested. Hair samples turned out to be from regular anteaters or normal sloths that are alive today. No body, no bone, and no clear photo has ever shown up, so the mapinguari stays unproven. Still, the Amazon hides a lot of secrets, and it lost its real giant sloths so recently that the legend feels less like make-believe and more like a memory that won't fade away. Number 3. Mokele-mbembe. Let's start with the hard truth, not the hype. There is no body, no bone, and no clear photo, nothing real at all, to prove that Mokele-mbembe exists. For more than 100 years, teams have searched the swamps of the Congo in Africa. They're looking for a creature that local people describe as a giant with a long neck. Many hopeful searchers have called it a living dinosaur. Scientists firmly say no. The last dinosaurs that weren't birds died out about 66 million years ago. An animal that big could not have stayed hidden that long without leaving a single bone or body behind. So why does this one make the list? Because of the place, not the monster. The legend centers on Lake Tele in the Republic of the Congo. This swampy area is so thick and so full of water that it's one of the least explored places on Earth, and this wild place really does hold surprises. In 2006 and 2007, scientists found more than 100,000 western lowland gorillas there that they hadn't known about. These are huge animals, and they were hiding in plain sight in those same forests. If a swamp can hide that many gorillas all the way into our own time, you can see why the dinosaur dream is so hard to give up. The creature is almost surely a myth, but the amazing, barely mapped jungle that gave us the story is absolutely real. Number 2. Thylacine. Somewhere in the wild western part of Tasmania, reports keep coming in about a striped, dog-shaped hunter. People send them to the government, even though this animal has been called extinct since 1936. The thylacine, also called the Tasmanian tiger, was a marsupial, which means a pouched animal, like a kangaroo. It once hunted across Tasmania, an island that's part of Australia. The last one in captivity died in a zoo on September 7, 1936. For a long time, people treated that date as the end of the story. But in 2023, scientists led by Barry Brook took another look. They gathered 1,237 reported sightings from the years 1910 to 2019. They rated each one for how believable it was. Then they mapped out where and when the animal most likely still lived. Their answers surprised people. The thylacine probably survived in Tasmania's far-off forests into the 1980s. That's much later than the books say. They also found a tiny chance, under 1%, that a few are still alive even now. What keeps the question alive is that the reports never stopped. The Tasmanian government still quietly writes down every claimed sighting. One report showed 8 sightings in just 3 years, and the rough western land was the top spot. No body and no clear photo have come from these sightings, so officially, the tiger is still extinct. But a steady trickle of reports, now backed up by real math, leaves it in a strange place. Science has buried it, yet it never quite disappears from the island's forests. Number 1. Coelacanth. In October 2024, divers near the Maluku Islands of Indonesia swam almost 500 feet down into dark water. There, they came face to face with a fish that scientists once thought had been dead for 70 million years. They took photos. They were the first pictures ever taken by divers of the Indonesian Coelacanth in its own home, and they shared them in 2025. That's the amazing thing about the Coelacanth. It keeps showing up where we don't expect it. This big, deep water fish was famously found again in 1938, long after people thought it was extinct, but it didn't stop there. A whole different kind of coelacanth was found near Indonesia in the late 1990s, thousands of miles away from the first one, and it gets even stranger. A study in 2021 found that coelacanths can live to be about 100 years old. The mothers stay pregnant for about 5 years. That's the longest pregnancy of any animal we know about. Every now and then, one shows up somewhere new, in water nobody had checked before. So here's the big thought to end on, the one that ties this whole countdown together. If a creature this old was still being found in 2024, hiding in deep water we've barely explored, then the line between extinct and just hidden is thinner than we'd like to believe. Some of the animals we've lost may simply be waiting to be found. If this list made you think extinct doesn't always mean gone, you have no idea. Scientists have stopped waiting for these animals to turn up in the wild. They're rewriting the genes of living creatures to rebuild ones that died centuries ago, and one of them is already alive today. The strange part is what that animal actually is underneath, and whether you'd even call it real. It's all in this video right here. Tap it, and I'll see you in the next one.